Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for joining me on my top 5 houseplants of August. If you are not familiar with my top 5 houseplants of the month, it is a series that I do on my channel where I show you 5 plants that are doing well over the month, and then I show you basic care tips, where they sit in my house, how often I water them, the lighting conditions that they get. And then I also show you one house plant that is not doing so well. So we are going to get right into it, and I'm going to show you the first plant that has been doing well over the month of August. And this is my variegated goldfish plant. So I did a whole video on this where I took you guys shopping with me to find a pot for it. And I did find this green pot because I thought it matched perfect with the plant. So this is the plant. It is doing very well. It's grown a lot, so it's hoping that it trails over the pot soon. But I'm very happy with how this plant is doing. It does sit under my grow light, probably 3 shelves down from the grow light, so it's not in like a lot of light, but it does get a lot of the grow light all day. And this plant has been doing great. It has not flowered for me yet, but I'm okay with that. I'm sure in time that it will, because I just got 3 little plugs. So they're doing good. I'm happy with this plant, and it is one of my plants here on my top 5 houseplants of August. So my next plant on my top 5 is this Peperomia lemon lime pixie, I think is what it's called. And when I bought this plant, it was very small, and I thought, you know, it was a cute plant, but I didn't really think that it was gonna really do anything. And when it started to grow and trail and just be wild, I really fell in love with it, and I just really love this plant. I did have it sitting under the grow light, and I think it was getting too much light because it was getting some bleaching on the leaves. You can kind of see here. So the leaves are a little bit wider than the rest of the leaves. So I did move this plant away from the grow light. It still gets a lot of light from the grow light, but not direct light, and it seems to be doing very well where it is sitting in my house. But this plant is just so beautiful. I do water it probably once a week, and it has just been growing all over the place for me. I really do think this is a very easy to grow plant. So if you're looking for something that is small and can trail down on a shelf, I would highly recommend that you pick up a lemon lime or a pixie peperomia. So the next plant I'm going to show you is my Hoya Australis Lisa, and this plant is just so gorgeous. The variegation on the leaves is always different. I do have some of the leaves that are solid green. Some have just a slight variegation. There are some that are half variegation and half solid green. This plant has grown so much for me. It is a super easy grower. If you are looking for a Hoya that's a little bit different than just the Hoya carnosa, I would highly recommend that you pick this plant up. It sits, it hangs close to my grow light and to the south facing window, and it just has so many long trails, and it's always growing new leaves for me. I do water it probably every 2 weeks, every week and a half to 2 weeks. It doesn't really require too much water, even though it has more thin leaves than a regular Hoya, but it is a beautiful plant, and the variegation is awesome. And like I said, I would highly recommend this plant if you're looking for something a little bit different. The Hoya Australis Lisa. The next plant I'm going to show you is a Syngonium, and this is my pink Syngonium. I think I did a video on this one where we were searching for it, and I did find it at the grocery store. I had to learn my lesson on this plant. I had it really close to the south-facing window, like right up against the south-facing window, and a lot of the leaves started just bleaching out. They weren't even really pink anymore. So then I pulled it back from the south-facing window, and it is still really close to the south-facing window, but not right up against it. And when I pulled it back, it started getting more of the pink leaves. So there's a lot of new growth that is pink. This plant also puts out new growth almost every single day. As you can see, all the new growth, all the new leaves unfurling. I do water this plant once a week, and I also fertilize it every time I water it. And I do fertilize with the organic fish fertilizer. So far this plant has been really easy, but then again it is a Syngonium. So if you're looking for a beautiful Syngonium to add to your collection, this is definitely one that I would highly recommend. The pink Syngonium. Okay, you guys, so the last plant on my top 5 houseplants of August. If you watched a couple videos ago where I showed you that my Begonia looking glass wasn't doing so great, here she is now. This plant has truly amazed me. She was on her deathbed, and I cut her all down to nothing. I will link that video up above if you did not see that video, or if you'd like to take a look at it. But this plant has grown so many new leaves. I'm really proud of how far she has come, just because you guys, she really was looking bad. She has so much new growth, and there's new growth coming out all the time. And like I said in the video where I cut her all back, the maroon on the back of the leaves are not as vibrant as I would like them to be, but I am going to try to give a little bit more fertilizer to get the coloring on this plant more vibrant. I do water this plant once a week, and it does sit under my grow light close to the south-facing window, and she doesn't really get any humidity. My house is about 55% humidity. I guess maybe just with all the plants that I have, but she doesn't really require more humidity than any of my other house plants. So this plant is one of my favorite plants, and that is why she is one of the top 5 house plants here in the month of August. Okay, you guys, so those were 5 plants that have been doing well over the month. And now I'm going to show you one plant that isn't doing horrible. It's alive, but it's just not doing anything. So I thought I would ask you guys for some tips or tricks on how I can get this plant to grow. And it is my Ficus Umbellata. So this plant I did get maybe a couple of months ago, and this is how it looked when I bought it. It has done nothing at all, and the plant nursery that I picked it up at had other ones there, and every time I'd go back, I'd go to this plant nursery at least once a week. Every time I'd go back, I would see the other plants that they had there, and they were like growing really tall, and they were growing new leaves, and my plant hasn't even grown one leaf. It has not grown tall at all. Like, it has no growth. This is what it looks like when I bought it, and it still looks like this. So I have been checking it for pests every single day just to make sure that maybe that's stunting the growth. I water this plant once a week. I do have it sitting near my south-facing window and near the grow light. It does get 55% humidity. And like I said, it is alive, but it's just not doing anything. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to get my Ficus Umbellata to grow, at least grow taller, or just do something other than stay the same, I would really appreciate it. So if you guys have any tips on this plant for me, please leave it in the comments down below. But this is what she looks like, the same as when I bought it. So my Ficus Umbellata. Alright you guys, so those were my top 5 houseplants of August. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the top 5 houseplants of the month, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more plant videos from me, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And I just want to thank everybody so much for watching. And until next time guys, bye!